Hello students, welcome to Global Online. Today we are discussing NTA UGC NET 2023 Paper 1. In this class, we deal with top 100 plus MCQs with detailed explanation. So students, in this single video, you can get this 100 plus top MCQ from UGC NET topics, complete syllabus revision with smart tricks. So it will really help your preparation and make your preparation stronger than earlier. So let's start the session. Communication becomes circular when the communication becomes a circular procedure. Here there are following options given. So you can know when the communication is circular, that is the decoder becomes an encoder. So, the procedure of communication that completely get or completely follow the communication process or the communication is complete only when the feedback sent by the decoder to the encoder. So, first person who's encode the message and send to the second person, and he will decode the message, and then feedback will send to the encoder. And this circular procedure is completely present in the when there is feedback. So this option is wrong. The feedback is absent is wrong. Source is credible or channel is clear is not coming the right option. So the communication becomes circular only when the decoder becomes an encoder or the feedback is present. It's the another one option. Clear? So the picture shows that the communicator, the first person who sends the message to the second person, and then there must be several concepts related with like the physical, psychological, social, relational, cultural context. So these contexts are related with the other important session, that is barriers of communication. Clear? That we will discuss in another video. So the question is clear for you. And so students, for your UGC NET 2023 paper 1 preparation, Global Online offering for you another important one, that is evaluation test for all topics in the UGC NET exam, and you can get this evaluation test at free of cost. And this is the interface of our app, and in this you can see the evaluation test. And this evaluation test will really make your preparation in a well manner and also make your concept clarification and detailed understanding of each and every concept in UGC NET exam. So make use of this great opportunity, and also you can get the most important study material for your UGC NET 2023 paper 2 preparation. And under this study material you can get all these subjects, and in this you can clearly understand the concept, and also you can use this material not only for your exam net exam, but also for related interviews and also the furthermore exams also. So it will really make your preparation in a efficient and in a formal manner, and you can get it by contacting with the given WhatsApp number. And the course will really amaze you, and it get only for 280 after a discount of 20%. So make use of this great opportunity students, and it will definitely make your preparation in a well manner. Okay. Then second question, which of the following statement is not connected with communication? So in these following option, which is not connected to the communication, and the one of the option, medium is the message, world is an electronic cocoon, information is power, telepathy is technological. So at a site you can know these three statements are correct. Medium is the message is also right, and the world is an electronic cocoon, of course, and information is power. So the wrong answer is the telepathy is technological. The telepathy is not technological, it is the mind factor. It's related with the mind factor. Clear? You can know the several examples of telepathy. The relationship, the wife-husband relationship, the mother-child relationship, you can see a telepathy is working there. Whenever you say that there's something that remind or something that in the mind of another person, there works a telepathy. Clear. So here the telepathy is not technological or not related with the digitalization, that related with the mind factor. Clear. Then the chronological order of non-verbal communication, another important one question. So here the non-verbal communication is noted there. Non-verbal communication means the communication without using words. So here the non-verbal only use like signs, symbols, colors, codes, etc. So here the chronology means the ordering, one by one ordering of the non-verbal communication. So that is, you can make sure the order here. Signs, first of all there comes signs, and then symbols, and then codes, and then colors. Clear. So signs here means any signs that related to haptics, the gestures, etc. And the symbols. Here the symbols means the symbols for stop. You can see stop, a symbol there, and code. That's a uniform code for our country. That's a uniform civil code. That's like the non-verbal communication. The code, for example, you can when you see a national flag, you must salute there, or you must stand still, or the in attention mode. So that is the code. That is not said by a verbal word to make to stand in attention. So that's a code. And the color, and also the color indicate some in traffic signals. You can know the red, green, yellow colors. So these are the another non-verbal communication. So first here there comes signs, and then symbols, codes, colors. So for your accessibility, for your recalling, you must show the code CC Sisico. Here the Sisico indicates SI for signs, SY for symbol, C for codes, and CO for colors. Sisico. Clear. So Sisico will indicate the chronology of non-verbal communication. Clear. Then didactic communication is. So the didactic, the word didactic indicates two, or the communication between two persons are indicated in didactic. Clear. So the didactic will represent, or didactic communication is the form of interpersonal communication or between the person. Here intra means within the person. Clear. And organizational relation is another mode of communication. So the intrapersonal communication is the one that within ourselves, the mind voice example, that is the communication of ourselves. And interpersonal means the communication between the people. Almost all communication is interpersonal. Clear. Then identify the correct sequence of the following. So here given the important procedure or the important ways in which the communication passes or the communication takes place. So we know there must be a person wants to communicate, or there must be a one person to start a communication. So that is a first person, and he will say the source. Clear. Then to the force there comes the message. A person who wants to communicate one important message to the another person, or he want some message to communicate or transfer to the other person. So first person or first thing, they need a source and then a message, and he want to talk to the other person through any media or any channel. So there comes the channel. In channel you can directly communicate to a person, or you can communicate through a phone, over a phone, and using the like internet services or other modes. So these are the channels there. And then there must be a receiver. Clear? So these are the important steps of communication, and from source to the receiver there takes place two important points. One is message and the other is channel. Clear? Then the next one is related to, so this is the answer: source, message, channel, and receiver. You can also call this model SMCR model. SMCR model communication. And then, so this is the sender encoding the message, and the channel that will receive the message. To the channel, the message will receive to the person who the sender wants to communicate, those person who is a receiver, and then he will decode the message, and then feedback will come, and then it will move to the receiver, then channel to the message, and then the sender. So here also plays an important one, that is noise. In noise that happening in between, or the in message in channel and receiver, you can see the noise that plays an important role there. Clear? Then the next one is assertion reason. In assertion, you can see the one of the statement: mass media promote a culture of violence in the society. So here the violence in the society that created by a mass media, or mass media is promoted the culture of violence in the society, is said in the assertion. And in reason there gives the violence, because violence sells in the market as people themselves are violent in character. So the first assertion provides that mass media plays a important play a role in the violence, promotion of violence in the society. And the reason says that the violence is sells in the society, or the violence is promoted in the society because the people themselves are violent, or the people, there are people who are violent in character. So you can see the assertion and reason both are look alike. The provides a negative sense. Clear? So the mass media, you can know the mass media, that's journals and also the newspaper. Are you sure that you only see the about news about the violence? No, there are many other news related to the prestige, and also the other things, achievements, and like the important events, etc. So the mass media plays important role in the communication channel, but not like in violence, but also you can get other information too. So both the statements are false. So the answer for this question is option D. Both A and R are false. Then in communication, connotative words are, and then here gives the connotative. You can see both the statements. One is denotative and the other is connotative. So both are important place in, both are secure, or both are process important place in the communication, and you can get the important variation or the important difference between both this. So here the connotative, that is expressed in explicit, abstract, symbol, or cultural. That is, in connotative you can see the figurization or the representation of particular words or particular events. So that is in cultural. So the answer for this question is cultural. For your clarification in this concept, they provides the connotation and denotation verses. So the in connotation you can see the meaning, additional figurative meaning. So you can get here the meaning, or the through the connotation you can get a figurative form of information. For example, a red rose. A red rose is a symbol of love and desire. But in the in books or in other journal or in other medias, you can see the red rose is the not at the symbol of love and desire. Is just like a flower, like a red flower, and with a thorny shrub, or with the thorns. And but in connotative sense they says that that is a figurative representation or response there. Clear? Or figurative response means the you can say you can get the importance or the show, why it is important there. Clear? And in denotation you can get only the dictionary definition, only the dictionary definition. Like a red rose is symbolized, or red rose is defined as a red flower that born by a thorny shrub. So there will be, you can say, only a red flower that look like it, and the leaves and the thorns. But here the red flower is look like only that flower, but in connotation it looks like a symbol of love and desire. So it figurate, or it denotes something. Clear? Or it makes some sense of words. Clear? That is connotation. So that is expressed in cultural. And then the denotation means that is dictionary definition. Clear? Then next question, when communicated, institutionalized stereotypes become. So here the stereotype word and also the institutionalized stereotypes. Clear? Then when communication is happen, or the communication is taken place, there comes the institutionalized stereotypes that become the convictions. Clear? So let's explain the concept. First of all, you can see the what is the word conviction. The conviction means a firmly held belief or opinion, or something we firmly believe. That is, there's something that we are not aware, or we are not that much sure about the thing, but we firmly held belief, or firmly held the opinion that that is right, or the statement is very much right there. So that makes the conviction. So there is not any proof related to the conviction, but it's just like a belief or opinion. And then the stereotype. Here the stereotype is a particular word, and that's generalized by the belief for a category of people. And there is an expectation. Some people expect as the culture or the particular category of people is like that, or their culture is like that. For example, in a male dominated country, like any country, in our country also you can see male domination in some places. Also there may be a female and male equality, but in some cases in marriage ceremony etc, you can see the male domination there. So in male domination there comes the female will make sure that they will provide the things, or the like the in marriage ceremony provide money or gold to the family, to the groom's family. So here they expect it from the bride's family. Clear? So that makes a concept, or that makes a generalized belief there, but that's not much sure, or that is not right to the society. In our constitution also there says that the dowry system will be prohibited, but in case of the following the beliefs there from our earlier our hereditary from our father forefathers. There will generalize the belief there, and that followed by until this time. uh, this time this changed in some more, but this also following by our future also. So that is a conviction or a belief. So that belief or opinion in the society, or the belief in the some of the things or some of the concept that makes the institutionalized stereotype, or that's only our belief also, and that does not have any proof. So I think that you must sure the word stereotype and also the word conviction. Some of the people does not know what is the stereotype and also what is convection. They will surely mug up this concept or mug up this question and answer, and then in exam hall you can see the some of any options that relate to the convection, like a conception or other thing, and you will suddenly jump to the answer conception or something like that. So for that I will explain the two concept, convection and also the stereotype, in detail. To the question, the term site stands for. Here the site for stands for which of the following, and here the option satellite instructional television experiment is the right one. You can see that the all options are look alike same, but the satellite instructional television experiment is a right option, and you must remember it by the satellite. Then through the satellite the instruction that for television experiment. So here the instruction word is very much important. Instructional, here instructional television experiment. Clear. Then the site is established in the year 1975, and the joint initiative of NASA, that is the American Satellite Space Research Center, and then the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO, sorry, Space Research Organization, and then the project made available informal television programs to rural India also. So the site is one of the important concept related with the television program, and you can see the project made available in rural areas of India. Clear. They must recall the year 1975. In some questions, you can get like match the following or some like that. Clear. Then the term DAVP, DAV stands for. So the DAVP you can know or you can make sure or relate to the concept Directorate of Advertising and Visual Publicity. So here the advertising is one of the communication channel. You can relate to the Directorate of Advertising, and here the advertising is we can get or we can reach in the medium of visual, or in advertising you can see or you can buy that product with the visual experiment. So the visual publicity is the another point. So make sure the concept you study must be in a clear manner or with any connecting with your real life or any other things, so you can easily remember or recall the things that you study. Clear. Then next one, in India, for broadcasting TV programs, which system is followed? So we know that for broadcasting any television channel or the television programs, there must be a institution that related to that. And you can know the Baisak sender, the channels Swayam Prabha is broadcast. So like that, the TV programs in India that is broadcasted by which of the following institution? And that is the one PAL. PAL, clear. And the PAL, that's full form of phase alternate line. Phase alternate line, that is the full form of PAL. And then the other one NTCS, that is National Television Standard Committee, and NTSC, National Television Standard Committee, and then sorry, the NTCS and the NTAC both are same, and the given National Television Committee for Standards, or here the NTSC, National Television Standard Committee, and CCAM, or the SECAM, that is Sequential Color and Memory. So the PAL is the institution that related to the broadcasting of TV programs in India. Then the term TRP, as associated with TV shows, that stands for, you hear that the TRP for that channel is very low, or the TRP for that particular program is very much high. So with this TRP, the channel of the program members will make sure or make analyze the program quality. So with looking the TRP that is above 5 or above 8, that shows that the channel or the program is excellent, or the viewers of this channel are very much interested to look that channel or look that program. So the TRP, that stands for television rating points. Clear? Television rating point. Then transforming thoughts, ideas, message into verbal and non-verbal signs is referred to as. So that transforming means to convert the thoughts, ideas and messages, and that's into verbal and also to non-verbal. And that particular word that related with the converting of ideas and messages into verbal and non-verbal means encoding. You heard the word encoding. You can see the word in also in computer in related to ICT. In computer program that is encoded in some of language like binary. Clear? So encoding, the opposite, or the opposite phase, that is decoding, to make the verbal or non-verbal signs into ideas and messages, that is decoding. Clear? Then MC National University of Journalism and Communication is located at which place? Or the MC National University, that is the full form of. So here the Bhopal is the National University of Journalism, MC, National University of Journalism and Communication is located in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, and the MC stands for Makkanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication. That's one of the important question. You can get definitely one question from here. Clear? And this also related to the higher education also. So the all the topic ICT, and then the communication, and also the higher education, the three parts will definitely have a connection, in interconnection. You will get the ICT question related with communication, also the communication question related to higher education, and also the higher education related with ICT, etc. So you can must study the all the three concept or three topics in a clarity, or you can also make sure that the ICT you study, or the ICT concept you study, must you evaluate yourself, and also to make the ICT with other topic also in communication and higher education, etc. So at that point and that relation also, you will definitely gain marks in your exam. Clear? Then next one, public communication tends to occur within a more dash structure. So this is a homework question for you. And public communication, you must know what is public communication. The communication in a broad manner or in a mass communication also comes under the public communication, but there are some variation or some differences between mass and public communication. One of the major differences is the public communication set up under a particular manner, clear, and there must be like the press meet, etc. The press meet that arranged by the political leaders or some other people, so that must be in a regular order or a pattern there. But in mass communication there are not much order or any other kind of patterns. You can see the mass communication like the talk in they talk in the auditoriums, and also the other places the political leaders speech in the local areas, and also in the urban areas you can see, and also the inaugural address of some people who inaugurate the bridge or something like. So the difference between public and mass communication are something that related to the people or the organization. So what is the public communication, or that public communication tends to occur in which of the structure in a more way or in an extreme way. So whether it's complex, political, convenient, or formal. So this question is one of the sure question, and also the students are bit confused with the terms public and mass. So that's why I explained the concept public and mass in detail. So any doubts regarding to the public and mass, you can surely ask in the comment box, and also you can get the other doubts regarding to this area, not only this voting question but also you can ask the other areas related with this concept. But the homework question you can get have any doubts, uh, also ask in the comment box, and next video I will explain the concept in detail, clear. That's for the day. And the next slide related to the homework question, yesterday's one, that is the disadvantage of e-governance. And here the disadvantage of e-governance, we can you can know the both the three option sorry these three option: real time update, cost reduction, transparency. These are the positive sides of the e-governance. But the digital divide is one that is related to the negative sense. So this is the answer for this question. The disadvantage of e-governance is with digital divide. And one of the student asked me to explain the 15th question, and that is the this question. And here you can see the digital divide. Here digital divide means the rural to urban, rural versus urban, and then literate versus illiterate, rich versus poor, developed versus underdeveloped, clear. So these are the various relationship between the digital divide. You can say the digital divide between these people, rural to urban. You must know the rural people who are in the distant area or in a remote location. So they are not well aware about the digitalization or the digital platforms. And but in the urban areas, the people, they can easily accessible to the digital initiatives and also the digital tools. So they must be well known aware about this e-governance. But in case that's also the same case in literate and illiterate. The literate people must know the advantage and also the usage of these things, but the illiterate are not as well as communicative, and also they are not aware the language. Communication problems also happen in the. And the rich and poor was, the rich was poor. The rich people, those who have financial efficiency and also the power to buy these equipments, and also the power to gain knowledge, is the rich people. And also in poor you can also get some people who have non and also be literate. Those people who have knowledge about the e-governance and also well known aware about the digital initiatives, but in some places it's not accessible or it's not working, and they are not as much as aware or as much as financially strong, and the people with hungry or the people with poverty, they must find the food for one time, not for the digital missions. Clear? So that's why the rich was poor strategy, the rich was poor division there comes, and then developed was underdeveloped. These are the same case in rich was poor. In developed countries, you can see the growth of the digital initiatives in a faster manner, on a faster pace. But in underdeveloped countries, the growing rate of these initiatives are sometimes low. Clear? Not in all times. In some like in corona times, you know that in all places in except in underdeveloped sorry, including underdeveloped countries also, you can see the tremendous fast growing of internet technologies. So at that time, the need for the e-governance and also the electronic equipments are very much efficient or very much needed. Clear? Then so that comes the developed versus underdeveloped digital divide. So these are the various relation or the various division in which digital divide will act. So, due to the digital divide or the disadvantage here denotes that the e-governance initiative or the e-governance establishment will not provide any good or any merits to those people who are in the category of rural, in illiterate, in poor, in underdeveloped. So those categories does not get the merit or does not get the advantage of the e-governance. Those are called the disadvantaged people. That's why the disadvantage of e-governance is called digital divide. Clear? Then any doubts regarding to furthermore doubts, you can also ask in the comment box. The three steps in memory information processing. Here, the memory information processing means the memory or the computer memory that store information through these steps, or the three steps that important for the storage of memory, that is encoding, storage, and retrieval. So, you know the word encoding in the communication topic. So, encoding means to organize or to make the information in another format, and the storage means the storage in a particular bit or like in another way, and retrieval is the last stage. In the stage you can get the information stored in the computer memory into in retrieval form. Clear? Then the next one related with one way to increase the amount of information in memory is to group it into larger familiar units. This process is referred to as. So, this topic or this concept related with the organizing of information in memory. So, the large amount of information in computer memory, to make it more simpler form or to make it in very smaller or larger familiar units, the process is called chunking. Clear. So this process is called chunking, to make the large amount or increase the amount of information in memory that into groups or familiar units. That process is referred to as chunking. And this is the sequence of chunking. You first the information is make into a one chunk to, that's chunk node 1 Clear. So these chunks will form the storage or information in the memory. Clear. Then next question related with the two kinds of main memory. So in this question, those of you make mistakes that suddenly you got two kinds of memory, primary and secondary. That's wrong. In this question, here the two kinds of main memory. Okay, so main memory or the primary memory. The other word for main memory, that's primary memory. So the main or the two kinds of primary memory or main memory, that is RAM and ROM, random access memory and read-only memory. Clear. Then primary and secondary memory. In secondary memory, there are other important division like hard disk, floppy disk, magnetic type, etc. And the primary memory is the fastest memory according to the secondary one. Clear. Then this is the categorization of computer memory into primary and secondary. In primary, you can see that DRAM, that is the DRAM for the one of the categorization in RAM, random access memory, and the SRAM, that is the other important division of RAM, and DRAM. So these are the important classification under primary memory, and in secondary memory there are ROM, random access memory here, and read-only memory in secondary, EEPROM, EEPROM. So this is read-only memory. Here there is random access memory. Clear. And then the primary memory of a computer can also be called. So here the primary memory is the another name for the main memory, and also it's called in other ways too. So these are the ways. That's all of these are right answer. Primary memory can be called internal memory, main memory, also primary memory is another one. Sorry, that's the same one with the primary memory. Clear. And also you can use that is the actual memory. Clear. Then this is the picture of primary memory. You can see. Then types of memory in the cache memory comes under the primary memory, and main memory there are two important division that we discussed in earlier question. In secondary memory you can see three important division. One is magnetic memory, and magnetic type, magnetic disk are all come under this category. In optical memory that comes compact disk, CD, DVD, Blu-ray disc, HVD, that is optical memory. Then solid state memory, there comes memory card, pen drive, solid state drive. This can be fixable, and also without fixing we can that can be out of fixing we can use but this is the fixable memory. We can always fix this optical memory for the usage, and after the usage you can plug it off this memory, that is solid state memory. Clear. Then what is the full form of CD? Another important question that related to memory, that is compact disk. The compact disk, and it invented or that is established or formed by James Russell. So CD was invented by James Russell, and again that is DVD, that stands for digital video disc and also digital versatile disc. Both A and B are the right option. So DVD stands for digital video disc and also digital versatile disc. From digital video disc that come the another name, digital versatile disc. Okay. Then what comes after terabyte? So the terabyte is one of the unit in memory. So the terabyte comes under, or the what comes under next to terabyte, that is petabyte. So you must know the order of these memories from kilobyte to petabyte. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte. Clear? So these are the ordering of byte or the memories. First of all, there comes byte and then kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, then petabyte. So you must know the ordering of these memories from lowest to the highest. Clear? And then memory is made up of dash, or the memory is the collection of large number of cells. So this is the answer, option C, large number of cells that made the memory. So the storage or the information is stored in single cells, like the points. You can see dots in memory cards. That is the storage unit of memory, like cells. Which memory is the actual working memory, or the memory that is used in computers. In computers, you can see secondary memory use or does not use, but the actual memory is the complete storage in the device. So the actual working memory is the RAM, random access memory. Okay. And also there are many division for RAM, like SRAM, DRAM, etc. So you must know about the actual working memory, that is the RAM. Clear? And then without RAM you cannot store anything in this device, and after the power of the information that's stored in the RAM will destroy, or that will go. Clear? And what is secondary memory? In this question you can get what is secondary memory and also its features. And it is non-volatile in nature, that is lower than primary memories. That's right, the secondary memory is slower than the primary memories, and also that is non-volatile. That means when the electricity goes out, also the information that in the secondary memory does not gone away. Clear? So that is stored for a permanent time period, and but this memory is lower than the primary one. So the option one is correct, and it's also known as backup memory. That also right. We want to back up some of the information, we use the secondary memory. And then the computer may run without secondary memory, that also right. So all of the above are correct according to the secondary memory. Clear? Then secondary memory, there are two important variation: fixed device and removable device. That's why the fixed devices is permanently, not permanently. We want to retrieve the information. We want to connect the devices like hard disk drive, CD or DVD. But the removable device like pen drive, Blu-ray disc, etc. You can see the removable devices. That is in currently most of the information we use or store with these devices in removable devices. Arrange the memory in chronological order according to their speed. So here the chronology of speed means from highest to lowest. So the according to the speed means from highest. First comes the highest memory or the highest speed memory, then comes the lowest. So that is in the not in the chronology, according to the negative or from highest to lowest. So here we can see highest storage memory or the highest speed memory, that is the register in a CPU, and then cache and RAM, and last the hard disk. So here the ordering, first one register, cache, RAM is the correct ordering of the primary memories. So you must know or remind this ordering. You can get definitely a question related to this memory part. Clear? Then this graph represents the clear image of the memory. First is cache memory, and then main memory, hard disk. Main memory, that is a RAM, and then hard disk is the secondary memory. So from coming from the top position to the lowest, larger capacity, you can see the storage will increase, larger capacity, but the time, access time is lower, and also the cost is low. You can see the cache memory or the primary memory, that is a very expensive, but in secondary memories are lower cost according to the price of the primary memory. And from going lowest part to the down to up, you can see smaller capacity but faster access time, easy access time, and also higher cost. You can see the primary memory, what that is very expensive. Clear? With regarding to the secondary memory. Clear? Then it is the another way, or the including all important memories, increasing order of access time there, that we can say in earlier. And the primary part is the main memory, and the magnetic disk and magnetic type, that is an auxiliary memory or the secondary memory. Clear? Then moving to the next question. Which of the following is or are the feature of SRAM? Clear, that is static RAM. In SRAM, we can see the feature, or the RAM is the important memory or the actual memory of the computer. So it is very much higher in speed, and also this bigger size and more expensive, and also requires less power consumption. So all of the above is the answer. So for reminding this concept, you must or remind this at the SRAM. SRAM for SRAM. SRAM is very faster. Okay, SRAM is very faster than the DRAM, and also this is bigger size. Ram was very, Sriram was very bigger in size, and also that's more expensive, because Ram was very powerful, so that is more expensive than DRAM. But it requires, or it consumes only less power. With less power, Sriram can do many work or many tasks than DRAM. So that is a simpler way to remind that. Clear? Then this is the Sri Ram, or that is S Ram. Clear? Then the key feature of DRAM. So the DRAM is the another important categorization under RAM. So you can see it is faster than SRAM, that's wrong. SRAM was very faster, and then it is bigger in size, that's also wrong. It requires less power, that's also wrong. So the answer for this is, it is less expensive and cheaper than SRAM. That is the important point. You can see the DRAM is not faster, not bigger in size, and and also requires more power than SRAM. But in DRAM, you can see that is less expensive and also is cheaper than SRAM. Then which of the type of RAM can be used as cache memory? So here the cache memory, you can point at that, that's very much faster or very much accessibility. So the which type of RAM that comes under, it is none other than the SRAM, because the SRAM was very powerful and also has more power with less consumption of power, can do faster accessibility. So you must know that is Sri Ram or SRAM. Clear? That is the important way to remind that. And this is a homework question for you. Which of the following memories needs refresh to store information? So here the memory that needs refreshing or needs the storage to refresh to gain or to add additional information or to add other information. Clear? Then the option cache, SRAM, DRAM and all of this. So give the answer in the comment box and also ask any question or doubts regarding to this. Clear? Then this is the homework question, and also in this question I can see many controversies in between two options, but the right answer for this question is formal structure. The question public communication tends to occur within a more formal structure, and some of the answers that is convenient structure you can see, but it is the wrong one. The public communication tends occur within a more formal, that's also need convenient structure, but it needs or it occur within a more formal structure. So this is the right answer. Don't make mistakes in this question, because this is a simple question and also you does not mistake this question. Clear? So public communication tends to occur within a more formal structure. The example for this is press meet or the magazines, newspapers, etc. So these are in a formal structure. Clear? So the convenient also comes under public communication, but that it tends to occur within a more formal manner or more formal structure. Then let's start the first question. Which of the following open source learning platform has been developed by IIT Kanpur? Here, the particular open source learning platform that developed by IIT Kanpur is the Brihaspati. So the other two options, eCan and eSaraswati. eCan deal with the education management system, and eSaraswati is the ERP software. So here ERP software that's used for number of purposes from school management to student management, and here the education management system deals with the inquiries and also for student and faculties that need help through SMS or live chat, etc. Clear? Then the next one, which are the following ISO are the main challenges in ICT adoption in Indian universities? So these are the challenges given: lack of technological readiness, poor implementation, linguistic barrier, all of the above. So the main challenges that lead to the ICT in adoption of is the all of the above. So here the main challenges include technological readiness, lack of technological readiness, poor implementation, linguistic barrier. Clear? Then next question deals with the video conferencing is an example of which technology? Synchronous, asynchronous, both A and B. Here the video conferencing deals with the synchronous technology. You must know the difference between synchronous technology and asynchronous technology. Both are same level of technology but have some differences. In synchronous, there are live and also at a time, that is the live time to time chatting or SMS or audio or video conferencing. But here, then asynchronous, that is the live chat or the time to live time is not available. Here, the recorded session or the recorded audio video are examples of asynchronous technology. Clear? Then, It is the differences, major differences between synchronous and asynchronous. Here, synchronous audio video conferencing, webcasters, text based chat channels, instant messaging, and also multiple modalities like Blackboard, WebEx, etc. In asynchronous, there come pre-recorded multimedia, and in text there come email, electronic document, discussion boards, blogs. In multiple modalities, there are virtual libraries, social networks. Then the next question, which of the following institution launched a knowledge repository e-Gyankosh in 2005 that aims at storing and preserving digital learning resources? So here e-Gyankosh that's launched in 2005, we can get that is a knowledge repository and that aims at the storing and preserving of digital learning resources. So the examiner asked that the e-can course that launched by which of the institution, and that is none other than IGNU. So the IGNU is the institution that launched the knowledge e-repository called eGyankosh, that is in 2005. In this question you can get two important points. One is eGyankosh is a knowledge repository and the other one is it is launched by IGNU. Clear? Then it is the particular picture. You can remind this eGyankosh with this picture. So eGyankosh, the launched by IGNU, that is a People's University. Clear? Then eGyankosh is the full form of electronic can, or the can means here knowledge, and sorry, kosh means here knowledge. So the electronic can and kosh. Can means knowledge and kosh. Here the National Digital Library is the eCan kosh and that is implemented and maintained by IGNU. Next one, institution that promoted by the Department of IT to provide communication infrastructure and services to academic research institution in India is. So the question is simple. The communication infrastructure or the IT department that provided the ICT or the digital help for the institution. So which is the institution that promoted by the Department of IT and they provide services to the academic research institution in India like the digital help and that provided by the IRNET. IRNET full form Education and Research Network. So the IRNET is the institution who helped the various academic research institution in India to, to be digitalized. Clear. Then the next question, bongage of FM radio. Here bongage means the collection. Okay, so the bongage of FM radio channels which broadcast programs contributed by institutions such as IGNU and IITs. So here the particular FM radio channels that contributed by institutions such as IGNU and IIT. So the channel that is Kyanvani, Kyanvani provide the programs or the events that contributed by the institutions such as IGNU and IIT. So in IGNU and IITs, the programs that shown or the programs that been telecasted through Gyanvani. Clear. Gyan Darshan is a television channel. Then it is the Gyanvani, the symbol, the logo, an educational FM radio of India, and again it established or launched by IGNU, and that is cover 80 kilometers radius from Madurai, and this is the channel 105.6 MHZ is the megahertz is the channel Gyanvani. Clear? Through this picture you can remind easily. Then joint initiative of IIT and IISc to provide e-learning. So here e-learning through online web and video courses in many streams, specifically engineering in the country, by providing free online course. So the question is, like the IIT and IISc, the joint initiative of both these institutions that who provide e-learning, that's through online web video courses, that specifically for the engineering, and that provided by free online courseware, and which of the institution or which of the program that provide the online courseware, and that is NPTEL, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. It aims to partner with organization in a mutually beneficial manner, and that by offering courses to train the freshers in the company and to also the cross skill and upskill that existing in the workforce. Also we can get these skills through NPTEL, and that is a joint initiative of IIT and IISc. Then next one, organization has been assigned a task to develop e-content of 996 courses that belonging to engineering, science, technology, humanities and management. So which of the organization that assigned the task to develop e-content in 996 courses? And then it is an institution, IIT Madras. IIT Madras is the institution who assigned a task to develop 996 courses. And next question deal with A view. A view is a important one. You can get questions from this area. The software that has been developed under the NME that is National Mission on Education through ICT, is basically developed for. Here the AView, that is a software that developed for mainly for which purpose? That's what teachers training. So the AView is the one that related with the teachers training, and that is developed by NME ICT. Here the NME ICT is the important one in the digital education. NME ICT that's developed in or it's formed in 2009. Another important one. And the next question deals with Web 2.0. Tools have made traditional learning more social and personalized. So, which of the following can be referred to as Web 2.0 tools? So, the Web 2.0 tools that are used for many purposes and that have made through traditional learning that makes more social and personalized. So, which of the following can be referred to as the 2.0 tools? That is all of the above. Blogs and wikis, podcasts and mashups, social networking communities. So, you heard about the Web 2.0 and also the Web 2, Web 3, and what are the differences? There are mainly the Web 1.0, that's read only decentralized. So these are the apps that comes under Web 1.0, that is Google, Yahoo, MSN, etc. Here, that is read only and that is decentralized also. So the power is for the particular apps. And then in 2.0, you can see the participatory centralized environment. And here you can see that the subscribers or also the users also have some of the powers there. So it is a participatory environment in Web 2.0. And in 3, that is the advanced version of web, that is no intermediaries and also that is decentralized. Here there is no intermediaries at all. Clear? Then these are the major differences. In here, the web 1.0, you can see basic web pages, HTML, e-commerce, JavaScript, etc. And that's from 1990 to 2005. And again in 2.0, you can 0, you can see the social media and mobile access, high quality camera video. That's now the present day situation, that's from 2006 to present day. And this is the eminent one, that is web 3.0. And here the semantic web users monetize their data, and artificial intelligence is the important one. Clear? So the web 1.0 to web 2.0, you can see the difference. Here the read only, here read, write, collaborate. So this the important point here. And then developer authorship, here the public authorship. The again the important one. And here the static content, here the dynamic content. And also this is a short tail and there is long tail. And this is text based and web 2.0 multimodal, both text and audio, video, etc. And here the lecture based, here the conversation. So you can see the major differences here. In lecture based, you can also connect the web 1.0 as a autocratic teacher, and but in web 2.0 you can see the conversation, that is a democratic teacher. Clear? Then the next question deal with Ekalavya Technology Channel that started in 2003, that is a distinct learning joint initiative between. So the Ekalavya Technology Channel, that is developed by which of the universities or which of the two important universities, that is a joint initiative, and that is none other than IIT and IGNOU. So the two IIT and the IGNOU, the both initiative of the both institution will make the Ekalavya Technology Channel in 2003. Next one, virtual education refers to imparting instruction in a learning environment where the teacher and the students are separated by. So you must know about the virtual education, and we all are part of the virtual education during Corona period. So in virtual education, you can see the teacher and students both are separated by some of the factors, and that is both time and space. You can see both A and B. You can also separate it by time and also space. When teacher can record the classes and in some other time teacher can post it. So the students will watch the class and also understand the content. And in space, teacher can send the video classes and also the audio classes from any part of the world. You can get the classes from America, Australia, or any other part of the world, and students from also the any parts of different parts of the world can access to the this content. So both the time and space are the two important factors that separate the teacher and the student in virtual education. And then the question, following institution that internet is used to connect computers. In previous question, we see that what is IRNET, Educational Research Network. So here, education and IRNET is used to connect computers in various institutions. So you can see that is all of the above. IISCs and IITs, also the National Center for Software Technology, all are using the research institutions, academia institution also are using the IRNET to connect the uh, people or connect the institution with digitalized mechanism. Clear? Then, which of the following services can help students to access computer files from remote location? That's through mobile phones. One of the important one, that's remote location. So the students from distant places or the remote location can access the computer files through mobile phones using this particular service, and that is Renrain. That is the service, and you can here the students can access the computer files from remote location through mobile phones. And that is the last question, that's homework question for you. How many DTH channels are available in Swayamprabha? You can know Swayamprabha is a DTH channel, is a collection of DTH channel, and here there is how many DTH channels are available in this particular platform. 32, 34, 30, 38. You can comment the answer in the comment box. Okay, and any question regarding to this can ask in the comment box. This question is a previous class homework question. NME ICT expected to be a major intervention in enhancing the gross enrollment ratio GER in higher education by dash percentage during 11th 5-year plan. So the NME ICT, the one of the important mission of government to enhance the learning through ICT, and this platform provide or this platform intervention is to enhance the gross enrollment ratio to which percentage, or the intervention of the government to increase the GER through the introduction of NME ICT by 5%, and that's during the 11th 5-year plan. So you must remind or you must recall the 5% in exams. Clear? So the NMEICT, that is formed of important mission by government in 2009, and here the government intervention or expectation to rise the GER to again 5%. Clear? Then that's for here the greenhouse effect and also the solar cooker is the two important keywords, and the options given are the various parts of solar cooker: coating with black color inside the box, mirror, glass sheet, and outer cover of the solar cooker. So here the greenhouse effect is the natural process that warms the earth's surface. So here the process is called greenhouse effect, because the name here means that the exchange of incoming and outgoing radiation that warms the earth or the planet, so that works like a greenhouse. You can see the plants inside a greenhouse. So here the greenhouse effect also reminds or says about the planet that warms due to the incoming and outgoing of radiation. Clear? So here the solar cooker is the one that will make a typical solar thermal collector. So it gathers and traps the sun's thermal heat. So the sun's thermal heat is the one that is very high frequency light. So from the solar cooker, the high frequency thermal power or the high frequency visible light will convert into a low frequency infrared rays. Okay, so that will help to make the cooking process easier. Or the you can think that the high frequency light from the sun that directly came into the solar cooker, what happens? It will make the food or the solar cooker inside food items will damaged or destroyed. But in case that can be converted into the infrared, low rays of infrared, so it will make the cooking process more easier. So here the solar cooker is also responsible for greenhouse effect. So what is the part or which is the part? That is the mirror inside the solar cooker will make the or is responsible for the greenhouse effect. And this is the picture that relate to the solar cooker, and here the sunlight will falls and later it will reflect into a plain mirror. So the mirror inside the solar cooker will responsible for greenhouse effect, and this is the inner metal and this is the plain mirror. Clear? So the solar cooker that responsible for greenhouse effect and the part is mirror. Clear? And the next one is tidal energy. Here the tidal energy is harnessed by constructing a dam. So the tidal energy is used. Here harnessed means used. Clear? You can see the word harnessed in many areas, and it means that used or the tidal energy is used by constructing a dam. Okay, so here the dam is constructed across which of the following? The river in hilly terrains, or the river in plain areas, or the wide opening to the sea, or the narrow opening to the sea. So we see that the tidal energy or the tides, the marine energy or the other oceanic waves and also a part of this tidal energy. So this tidal energy is used with a big force. Clear? So the big force can be generated or formulated by a narrow opening to the sea. Clear, students? A wide opening means what? The wide area. So the water will make a wide procedure spread into the whole area. But the narrow opening will make the force to high power. So that will make the tidal energy more useful or more forceful. So by constructing a dam across a narrow opening to the sea, that will really use or really the effective due to. You can see the ocean thermal energy, OTEC. So here how the ocean thermal energy arises. And here given energy stored by waves in the ocean, temperature difference at different levels in ocean, pressure differences, tides arising out in the ocean. So here the ocean thermal energy is arises or that can be formulated due to the temperature difference at different levels in ocean. So the marine energy or the marine power that refers to the ocean water, that's the tides, the salinity and the ocean temperature also. So here the movement of the water in the ocean that creates a vast store of kinetic energy. Here the energy is created due to the temperature difference and also the salinity difference in the ocean. Clear, students? So here the temperature. So in ocean energy and also the tidal energy, you can see the force will act a very important role. But here the temperature is the one, or the temperature difference will make a thermal energy, ocean thermal energy. Here we'll say the thermal. So we can relate the thermal to temperature. Okay, so this is the keyword. So the ocean thermal energy is arises due to the temperature difference at different levels in the ocean. So you can relate this like a ocean, and the energy or the temperature at this former level or at the inner level and also the outer level. You can see like that. So the inner level, the temperature is in a different way, and also the outer layer is the at different level that compared to the inner level. Clear? So the temperature at the different levels will make the ocean thermal energy to formulate or to make a effective energy variation. Okay. The next question relate to the identify the correct sequence of energy sources in order of their share in the power sector in India. You can get a question like that in UGC examination. This is a most expected MCQ. So friends, you can really understand the question well, because the sequence is sequence is the important question related to UGC NET exam. So the here given the thermal energy, nuclear, hydro and wind as the important energies, and also the sequence or the highest in India, the power sector, the thermal energy will contribute more. So first, the thermal energy is the one that will make the more power or the more share to the power sector in India. And second one, the hydro, that is the water, energy from water. And the next, nuclear. Nuclear is the another thing that get from the nuclear reactions. And the wind is the last one, or it is contributed less to the power sector in India. So you can remind as THNW, that is THNW. So the THNW will make the to understand. So the T here is the highest contribution to the power sector in India, that is thermal, and hydro, and NW, that is nuclear and wind. So you can remind like that, so you can easily will don't forget in your exam. Clear? And the next one is, which of the following non-conventional energy sources can be mostly economically exploitable? So here the mostly means you can say the economically also. So the energy you can get is very economical. That means it's very cheap. So you can use it in everywhere. And also this is a very exploitable energy also. So that is a non-conventional energy. Non-conventional and exploitable and also economical. None other than the solar energy. Clear? That is the solar energy. We can get everywhere, and also that is most economical, and also that is very exploitable and non-conventional. That is the main word. Non-conventional energy with mostly economically exploitable. Clear? And the next one, the most constituent of biogas. Biogas, and here the most main constituents. Here the main constituent means the biogas will contain which of the following gases or which of the following components. And here the answer, methane and carbon dioxide. So in a raw biogas that typically consists of methane, that is 50 to 75%. So here the 50 to 70% is the one. So the in biogas the highly condensed element is methane, and the next the carbon dioxide, that is to 25 to 50%, and a small amount of nitrogen, that's for only 2 to 8%. So here the 2 to 8% content is another, that is the nitrogen. Clear? So the methane, carbon dioxide is here the main constituents of biogas, and a little nitrogen is the important constituents of biogas. Clear? So here the trace levels of hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, hydrogen and various volatile organic compounds are also present in biogas. That's depending upon the feedstock. So for different feedstock, that will relatively the amount will vary. Clear? So but in case the methane and carbon dioxide are the important or the main constituents. And the next one relate to the geothermal energy. So the geothermal energy, so what is the important or the what is the one is related with the geothermal energy? The derived from coal, or it's a hot water deposit within the earth crust, or the steam, or in dams. So the coal and also the dams will not come because it's a geothermal. Here geo means earth. So you can relate it with the earth crust. So here the earth crust will play the important role in geothermal energy generation. So here it's produced at the deep earth crust. So the earth core will play the important role in geothermal energy, and it is a renewable resource and used for electricity generation. Clear? And here the geo means earth and thermal means heat. Okay, so the answer for this is energy contained in hot water deposit within the earth crust. Inside the earth crust, there are a large content of hot water, and this hot water we can use for generating geothermal energy, and that is used for electricity generation. And the next, the picture that will represent the geothermal energy. Here the geothermal energy, the hot water inside the earth crust, and it is transparent, or it is the steam will used to make the energy by using the turbine and generator, and then the steam will rise to the rise through the turbine, that's pipe, and also the cooling towers will later make the other water and the returning water into the earth crust. So this is the injection well. So this procedure will make the geothermal energy, and the energy generator will goes to the towers for generating electricity. Is here the electricity will generate and used for other purposes. So the hot water will make the geothermal energy very effective. So the hot water in the earth will vary also. So the amount of the hot water or the temperature difference in the hot water also make a important part in the geothermal energy generation. Clear? And the next question relate to the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are which type of resources? Non-renewable, renewable, or both A and B, and none of the above. So here the fossil fuels are the one that is non-renewable resources that cannot be renewable. That can be renewable within a long span of time. So here fossil fuels means the fuels that generate from fossils. So this is a long time procedure. So that is a non-renewable resources in general. And which of the is not a renewable natural resource? This is not a renewable natural resource means it is non-renewable. So the clean water, fertile soil, fresh water, salt. And these questions also make confusion in you, and also this is a repeated question in UGC NET also. So you will study well and also make sure that the explanation for this question is clear for you and understand well. So the answer for this is salt. Salt. Okay, so it's not a renewable natural resources, and one of the option you can see that is salt. So that is the answer, because salt is a non-renewable resource. Because salt is considered as non-renewable, it takes more time for natural procedures to create more salt, and that is the longer time it takes for people to use it. So the time to create the salt is more than the time to use it. Okay, so that the salt we use it is considered, or it formed due to the long time procedure. Okay, so that is the answer, the non-renewable resource. And which of the following resource or source of energy maximum potential in India? So it's a easy question because the most economical resource, non-conventional resource, and also most exploitable resource, that is the solar energy, that will contribute a source of energy has the maximum potential in India. Clear? And the next one, the energy utilized through different routes, namely solar route and the solar photovoltaic route. Here the two important source or the two important routers are solar thermal route and the solar photovoltaic route. So while solar thermal technology utilizes the heat energy from the sun, so for wide range of application for solar photovoltaic that is enable direct conversion of solar radiation into electricity. Here solar photovoltaic route will make the direct conversion of solar radiation into electricity through semiconductor devices, that is solar cells. So using the solar cells, the solar photovoltaic route will make the solar energy directly into electricity. And solar thermal route, you can relate that the solar cooker is an example. So here both the solar route and solar photovoltaic are the important energy utilization of solar energy. That's you can get from the question also. But the solar energy is used for two different routes. That is the important part in the question. First one is solar thermal route. Second one is solar photovoltaic route. Next one, fly ash is produced in thermal power plants is an eco-friendly resource that using. So here the fly ash is the one. And you can hear the fly ash. What is the fly ash? It is the emitters from the industries. Clear? So this is a resource that causes pollution, but in case it can be used with the eco-friendly resource. And which are the uses? And here given the four important uses. Agriculture as micronutrient, waste land development, dam and water holding structures, and brick industry. So here these are the four important uses related to the fly ash to use as eco-friendly resource. So all of the above is the answer. And the fly ash, that is the transported from the combustion chamber by exhaust gases. So why it's named as fly ash? Because the fly ash is the fine powder formed from the mineral matter in coal. So the consisting the non-combustible matter in coal. It cannot be combustible. Combustible means it cannot be made to remove from the pollution part. So the small amount of carbon that remains from incomplete combustion also. So these all are made pollution from fly ash. But in case it can be used for the four uses that stated in the question. So it cannot be make any pollution to the environment and cause a eco-friendly resource. Clear? And the next one is dash is sustainable use and protection of natural resource. Here the natural resource will be sustainable using, and also the protection will happen due to the conservation. The pollution and exploitation will not come. These two are negatively termed. But the preservation, why it does not come the preservation? Because we cannot preserve the natural resources. Preservation means to protect with any artificially used materials. But we can conserve them with natural procedures by constructing dams and also by using the solar energy in a effective way. So that is a conserved way. Clear. So that is a sustainable use also, and also the protection of natural resources. The next question relate to the which of the following emits dangerous radioactive waste that forcing the governments to eliminate its use. So there are various energy resources in our environment. So some of the but in some of the resources that makes the dangerous radioactive waste. So you can see the water energy, geothermal, solar energy. These are the energy from the environment. So water energy that will make and does not make any pollution, or the geothermal also we use the inside the earth crust, the resources or the energy from earth crust, but in case it causes the steam, but that does not make radioactive wastes. Clear. So the radioactive wastes will cause a dangerous situation in our environment. And the solar energy that we know what this is a very economically and also the non-conventional renewable resource that does not make pollution. So here the answer for this question is nuclear energy. So it's a supply of energy produced by the energy emitted by the nuclear reaction. So the electricity produced by the nuclear reactor, it can be used from the nuclear reaction. Clear. So the primary power source in Japan is nuclear energy. That's an example of nuclear technology. So in Japan, nuclear energy is used in a higher or in a increasing way. Clear. The major power source in Japan is nuclear energy. The next question relate with the homework question and also the greenhouse gases. The greenhouse gases is high because of which of the following reasons? Or in today, the concentration of greenhouse gases is high because of which of the following reason? Use of refrigerator, deforestation, increased combustion of fossil fuels, or all of the above. So the reason for why the concentration of greenhouse gases is becoming high. Clear. So this is a homework question and you can give the answer in the comment box and also ask any question regarding to this. Okay. So and this is the yesterday's homework question. The NGO has a mission to conserve the lands and waters on which life depends, and it is none other than the Nature Conservancy. The Nature Conservancy is the one that relate with the conservation on the lands and waters on which all life depends. That is a non-profitable and also a government organization. Clear. So here this is their motive is to protect the environment and also to conserve the land and waters in which the land or the life depends. Clear. So that's for the day and we will meet in next video. Until then, thank you. Have a nice day. The software such as virus, worms and Trojan horses that have a malicious content is known as. Here, there are some examples: virus, worms, and Trojan horse that are harmful for a computer or a device that it affect or it infect. And the malicious content means the content that cause harm and is known as malware. So the program or the software that cause harm or that cause malicious content is called malware or malicious software. Okay. And in this adware and spyware, also other important category comes under the harming or the program that cause the computer in danger. So the adware means due to the lot of advertisement that causes issues to the device. And also spyware is the another one, and that include the hacking and other contents. but the firewall is the security program for the computer viruses. Okay, then second question related to the viruses, Trojan horse, and worms are, and here given the options that explains the various contents. In here we want to answer the viruses, Trojan horse, and worms. And we know that these are malicious software, so it will harm the computer system. So the answer is able to harm computer system. Clear? Then next one, it is a self-replicating program that infects computer and spreads by inserting copies of itself into other executable code or documents. Here, the question provides the clear description for the answer, or the clear description of one of the concept. And here, the self-replicating means that the program that replicate or that will spread by itself into a computer. So it will affect the copies, or it will affect the other programs and also the executable code or documents. Okay, so it can the power or can the ability to cause harm by spreading itself, and it is none other than the virus. Okay, so you can see the virus in our human body also, it can the power to spread by itself, and as like that the virus in a computer also has the power to self replicate or spread by itself. Clear? Then dash are often referred to a PC through an mail attachment and are often designed to do harm. So here the one of the malicious content that cause or that often deliver to a PC, or that makes the PC harm, or the PC means a computer that harms the computer by or through an mail attachment. Okay, so once the computer is locked, or it log in with a mail attachment, or it opens a mail attachment, the virus or the content that cause harm to the computer, and that is the virus. Okay, so the answer is virus. Again, next question. The first PC virus was developed in. So the virus, PC virus, that's developed in the year 1986. Okay, so the 1986 first PC virus was developed, and next question is the first computer virus. You can definitely get a question like that. The first computer virus is the creeper. Okay, param we can know that is the supercomputer, and creeper is the first computer virus, and it is developed in 1986. Next one, which of the following is a type of software that has self-replicating software that cause damage to files and system? So it's again a type of software or a malicious content that itself be spread into the software and cause damage, or it cause harm to the information in the computer, and it is none other than the worms. Okay, so you can definitely get the difference between virus and worms. The virus means it can self-replicating, and it goes as a code or documents, codes or documents. But in worms, it causes damage to files and system, and also that have a power to be self-replicate. Okay, the similarity is that it can both have the power to self-replicate, but in virus it can cause by code or documents, but in case of worms it damage to files and system. Clear? Then next one, a computer virus normally attaches itself to another computer program known as. So here the one of the computer's virus that normally makes or normally that insert by itself, and that cause another computer program harm. It affected into a particular program, but it also affect harm to the another computer program also. So that is known as the Trojan horse. So you can just imagine a horse. It can the power to fly, or sorry, it can power. It's just the power to move faster, and just like that, a particular computer program is affected by Trojan horse, that also affect the another part of the computer program, or the another computer program also affected with the particular computer virus. Clear? Then a dash is small program embedded inside of a GIF image. Okay, so in this question, that's a small program. It's one of the coding, and that is embedded. Embedded means it is hided. Either hided inside of it can also means hided inside a GIF. And here also we can get GIF, the full form of GIF, graphical interface. Okay, so in a GIF image, you can see many in the GIF image, GIF images in WhatsApp and also in other programs. So it is, the program is like a embedded GIF image, and that is none other than the spyware application. So in this you can see that a small program, and that cause the or it can happen by a GIF image, and in that you can easily connect the word spy. Do you know who is a spy? The spy is a person who hide, or who is the informer to the person, but he does not directly collect information. He by changing her identity. So like that, a spy, the program, a small program that embed or that hide inside a GIF image. So it cannot be easily or directly collect the information. Okay, so that's a one of the main important thing. And the next one, hackers often gain entry to a network by pretending to be a legitimate computer. So in that, hackers means the person who collects the information or it harms a computer program by causing or may by making a person of by not making the identity, or directly he does not gaining any information from the person. It indirectly get information from the from a person. So he will gain entry to a particular network, so that by pretending to a legitimate computer. Legitimate means a one of a computer that is make authentic computer. You can see that in some of the website also, that is a government website, or the hackers will also use the gov code in some places, so that will make the person to think that it is a authentic site, but this is a site that made by the hackers to collect the information of the people or the others. So that is a spoofing. Okay, so that's called spoofing. IP spoofing. Sorry, IP spoofing. Because here the spoofing means the IP. IP means a computer address, or the IP is the particular address of the computer. So through this, the hackers will gain entry to a particular network. Okay, so you can see spoofing means the reality thing that can make into another way, or it can look like same, the concept, the idea is also same, but in a some another way that will make the content. Okay, a person who uses a computer to cause harm to people, to destroy critical system. So here a person who is a person. So here the person name is asked and who makes the computer to cause the people and also destroy the critical means the identity information and also other related information. So that definitely that will be a cyber attack. So he is known as the cyber cracker. So we say cybercracker who destroys the or who make us a use as a computer to cause harm. So definitely he is a cybercracker. Okay. Then next question, act of sending emails or creating web pages that are designed to collect an individual's online bank, credit card, or other login information. So nowadays you can see all are digitalized, the banking system and also the shopping, etc. So in this you can see that some of the mails or some of them creating web pages and that definitely makes to or designed to collect the individual's information that like online banking, that credit card number and also the ATM numbers, etc. So that the person or the act of making such content or the act of making such activities are called phishing. Okay, so phishing is the act of making or sending emails for the purpose of collecting the information of online banking or any other related the critical information of a person. And also you know the what is spam. Spam is known as the junk email. Okay, so that is there are no lots of emails you can send in a particular person. Okay, hacking definitely it's a process of collecting the information, the critical information, and also cracking is another term regarding to the computer security. Okay, then all of the following are examples of real security and privacy risk except. Okay, so in this class we deal with the security problems or the malicious softwares. So here the given option and in this there is a odd man out. So that is the one who is not making any real security problems or privacy risk. That is the spam. Okay, so spam is the answer because the spam does not make any security problems, but it causes the persons with lots of emails for a one time. That's why also called the junk email, unwanted emails or messages. Okay, then adware is something or you can see the malware is the one that causes the computer harm and also collects the critical information and affect the computer in a negative way. And here the adware, you can see the word ad is the important term here and easily it can connect with the term advertisement. So the software that gets different advertisement is known as the adware. Okay, so then this is a homework question for you. A digital signature is an and in this period of digitalization you can see that under any offices and also in any you can see the digital signature is widespread activity and the digital signature is one that is scanned signature or signature in a binary form or encrypting information or none of the above. And you can definitely answer this in the comment box and then you can ask any related question about this topic. Okay, and next we can see the homework question. Junk email is also called that's none other than spam. Okay, spam that is unwanted email that come to a person. So this is the answer for this question. And also you know the word spoof. Yes, barriers of communication. barriers to communication. Here, physical, perceptual, emotional, cultural, semantic. So we want to order the sequence and the given options. So the correct sequence of this, first there come physical barriers. So physical barriers is the first one, because in barriers the physical means the environmental factors. So that comes the first. Then perceptual, that is perceptual means the sensory factors. The human sensory factors is the second one. Then emotional factors. In communication, the emotion is must and also it's very important factor, because in barriers there come emotion. In a person who is in sad or in emotionally destroyed or danger position, he will face barriers to communicate with other persons. Okay, then there comes cultural barrier. There also comes under the barrier section, because we want to know some of the words they are defined with cultural also, that is called connotative. Okay, then semantic. Semantic means the words that meaning of the words, the inappropriate of the meaning of words. Okay, so the right answer is A, B, C, D, and E. That's a correct one. Physical, perceptual, emotional, cultural, semantic. So you can simply remind us P square ECS. P square ECS. Okay. Then next question. Which of the following is described in your text as a contextual factor that can impact on the effectiveness of communication in an organization? Here, the text means the communication or the message. So, the factor, the situational factor that impact the communication of you, or the information that transmitted by you, and that's in an organization, that happens in an organization. So there are organizational structure and organizational culture, technology. So you can see that all these are related to the situational, the contextual factor. Because when the organizational structure, it can be changed in some time, and also the culture. Okay, the management changes, that also makes the organizational structure and culture to change. And then technology, the tremendous of rapid technology invention also happen the communication to change or to impact the effectiveness of communication in an organization. So all of the above is the right answer. Okay, you get it. Then next question. Which of the following is not a barrier to effective communication associated with the media and channel? Here, the question is related with the media and channel for the communication, and here the comes not a barrier. So, when the effective communication that happen any barrier that's related to the media and channel, and that caused or influenced by the media or channel. So it can be either of the option, but there are one option we want to find that is not the barrier to communicate effective communication, and that related with the media and channel. And we know noise is one of the important barrier related with media and channel, and also information overload. This does not comes under this. And space proxemics, that's related with the spatial things, and inappropriateness of media or channel, that's of course comes under the media and channel section. So the answer for this is information overload. That does not comes under the barrier to effective communication, because it does not happen due to the media and channel. Okay, that happened as an individual factor. Clear? Then, from the list given below, identify the psychological barriers to communication. Here given noise, invisibility, prejudice, disinterest, inattention. So from this option, we want to find the psychological barriers to communication. So what is the meaning of psychological barriers? It is the barrier that related with the mind factor or the mind related barriers and that cause problems for effective communication. Okay, then it effectively or it definitely comes the disinterest and also inattention. Clear? Then the next option also comes the prejudice. Okay, so the answer for this question is 3, 4, 5. Prejudice, disinterest, inattention. Prejudice means it is the versality, or that means you can see some prejudices in our society. Okay, that also comes as a psychological barrier because prejudice created in one person's mind, it can transmit to another person's mind, but does not have any proof for that. Okay, and then disinterest. That's a psychological one, and it will happen or may not happen. Uh, that depends upon the nature and character of the person. Okay, then inattention. That's the person does not focus on the information that he get. And these are the factors 3, 4, 5. That's a psychological barriers to communication. Then the least contributor to noise in the communication system by the audience is. Here, the question deals with the noise session or the barrier to communication, that's a noise, and the least contributor or the factor that cause less chance or sorry the less influence or the less chance to occur the noise, and that's in the audience. Okay, the selective attention. Selective attention means the focusing of the information, or when the person speaks, we focus or we make them feel that we are attentive in their talk. So that's one of the important factor that in communication that does not contribute that mostly contribute to the noise session, because when the person is non-attentive or inattentive, that makes the speaker also to think that they are not attentive in their session and also make communication barrier. Clear? Then selective perception, and that's related to the things that seeing us, and we also feeling like the sensory parts. So we want the perception also for effective communication. So the yeah, the lack of perception also makes the noise, so that's also most contributor to noise. Then retention. Here retention is the recalling of the particular information that we get. So we want the retention capacity also. We can get the information, but we want to use it some other situation by recalling the previously available information. Okay. So the retention is another important factor. The intention. Intention is in some cases, we hear all the information, but we does not make the use of all information. We use only the some parts of the information and other parts we will skip it. So it does not make more contribution to the noise in the communication. Clear? Then the selective intention is the least contributor to noise in the communication. Then statement question, assertion and reason. Here the assertion gives, in the context of communication, the perceptual process creates semantic noise, also called word noise. And the reason given, the various meanings, either connotative or denotative, are sources of semantic noise. So here given the communication context or the communication procedure, the sensory or the things that created by using our sensory things that also cause semantic noise or semantic barrier, and that also called as word noise. In some cases we will make the word pronounced and also that cause noises in the procedure. Okay, so in some situation we say we greet one person with hello, hello with normal voice, and you say hello. That will make the weakness and also the semantic, the word or the semantic noise that created due to the word usage, and all that also called word noise. And then the various meaning, either the reason given, the connotative or denotative procedure or the context. We know the connotative is the cultural or the that word in the situation or the cultural context, and denotative that means the word that is accordingly or that exactly in the dictionary. So also both will make the word noise, because in connotative the word is not much similar as the denotative, and in denotative also that word is exactly same as in the dictionary. So both the statements are related with the semantic noise. So both A and R are correct. And also we can see that the word noise will created in either situation, in connotative and also in denotative. So the reason is also correct. So the answer is both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Clear? Then identify the barriers to communication from the list given below. Here the given options: time and distance, bypassed instruction, encoding of thoughts and ideas, decoding of thoughts and ideas, and logical sequence. From this, we want to identify the barriers to communication. And it comes time and distance, of course, and also bypassed instruction also comes, and encoding. Here, the encoding does not cause the barriers to communication, and also the decoding. And the logical sequences does not comes under the head of barriers to communication. So the answer is A and B only. Clear? Then, in communication, semantic barrier refers to. So, semantic barrier is the one that goes due to the inappropriateness of the usage of words, and that may vary according to the situation. So, according to the situation or according to the cultural aspect, we know that the connotative connotations that will cause the variation. In some places, the word meaning is dynamically changed in another place. That is a dynamic word. But in denotative, the dictionary meaning that is always same. That always same in the dictionary and also in the usage. Clear? Then the answer is varied connotation. Clear? The assumption or the person that who get that word, or when the word is saying, the person's mind will recall something that is in varied connotation, or that become change in one to another. Clear? Then in communication, entropy refers to, entropy is the one of the term in communication, and is introduced by Shannon, one of the personality who given models for communication, Shannon's model, a Shannon Weaver model, and that's for 1948. And you can see that here there comes a word entropy, and that means the difficulty for the communication or the things that happen, the barriers to communication, and that's none other than the unpredictable message. So when in entropy means the message that we cannot predictable. When we see that some messages are unpredictable in situation, so that creates the barrier in some way or the another way. So that's the entropy here. Okay. Then keeping quiet because of fear of punishment in communication is an dash barrier. Clear. So this one of a situation, that's a person who feels fear of punishment for something, and he keeping quiet for that situation, and it creates the barrier to effective communication, and that barrier comes under which of the following hits. And we know that the punishment, the fear of punishment, that changes from one person to another. Some think that the punishment they can face without fear, and also when another person they think that is cause them fear, so they keeping quiet. So it changes from person to person, so that become individual thing. So that's individual barrier. Clear. So you can get like a hypothesis type or the situational type question. So you can easily make you as in the question. Then you can find the answer in a better way. The given prejudgment, source credibility, length of communication, source creation, existing knowledge of the receiver. So you must carefully read the question. Okay, so here the barriers to communication, that for the communicated message. So the barrier happen after the communication or the after the receival of the message. In some cases, you can see that one message is converted from transmitted from one person to another. Also, it leads some of the barriers, and that become barriers or the create problems in effective communication. So that's here the answer is 135, that is prejudgment, length of communication, existing knowledge of the receiver. So here prejudgment, you can see the prejudgment, that's the predetermination. One person think that the message, before he get the message, he will think some judgment, or he will make some judgment, and after getting the message he will agree or will not agree, that according to the situation or according to the message, and that also create barrier. Okay, and then length of communication, you can see that when information overload is one of the example here. When more information you get from a person, it creates problem, because it reminds you in a trouble. A lot of information makes also a barrier to communication. And again, existing knowledge of the receiver. Here, the receiver or the person who receives the message have some knowledge in earlier, but after the reception of the message, he will make the connection with the existing knowledge. So it will come as a positive or a negative thing, and also that is a barrier to communication for the understand the communicated message. And the source credibility, the source creation, that's the communication barrier or the communication procedure before the communication, or that is the pre stage of the communication. Clear. So that's the answer. Again, the sequence of barriers to reception classroom communication, one of the important question, because you can see that the communication is related with the teaching session or the teaching topic. So the barriers to reception of the message or the communication, that's under classroom communication. So here we want to make the barriers according to the sequence. Clear. So first there comes the needs. Clear? Because we're in classroom communication, students need are the first barrier, because students needs something from the teacher, like the conceptual understanding, etc. So that is the needs. And then comes the anxiety, because students think that when they get the needs, and how they will make the use of that needs, so that way makes the anxiety. Clear? Then there comes the expectation. They expect something that they will make use of this concept in their exam, and also in their other related things also. That is the expectation. And then attitudes. So the last that will create the attitude portion. So the barriers, that's the attitude portion, is the last thing. Clear? So we want to order like the needs. The first, the needs. We want the needs of the students are the important barrier, and again there comes the anxiety of the students, and then expectations, and then last the attitude. So the order is 4, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so that's a first one. 4, 2, here comes, and then expectation, and then comes attitude. Okay, can remind us NAEA. Then, which one of the following is a strategy to overcome communication barriers? So, from the given option, one option that related with the strategy or the measure that will help the communication out of barrier. Clear? And that is none other than the setting of ground rules. When making some rules for communication, that will easily make the communication in a systematic way, and also the communication barrier to remove from the channel. Clear? So aggression does not come, that's a negative thing, and use of jargon is also the negative one. And advanced technology provision, also the advanced technology makes some improvement, but all times it does not find the solution. Clear? So setting of ground rules is the one that make the strategy to overcome the communication barrier. Then, which of the following is an example of a physical barrier into communication? So we know that physical barrier, that's related with the surrounding of the individual who communicate. So that does not come the cultural disparity. That's we can see cultural disparity is for connotative things, and that comes the semantic noise, and then inattention, that's related with the individual thing, and verbalism, that's also the another semantic noise. But ill health is the one that related with the physical barrier. Clear? When the person is under a serious disease or have some problems for health, he create or he may feel some problems in communication. So that's the communication barrier. It comes under the physical barrier. Okay, then so homework question for you, and this is the question: the most powerful barrier of communication in the class is. So also this important one, because the relation or the making merge between the communication and the teaching topic, teaching aptitude. Clear? So the option given: noise in the classroom, confusion on the part of teacher, more outside disturbance in the classroom, lack of teaching aids. So you must answer the question in the comment box and also ask any other related queries to this topic. Okay, and this is a homework question. Earlier, previous previous day homework question. So here the code, content and treatment that relate to. In yesterday class we deal with the communication model and we can see that here the model Berlow's model, the model that creates or that makes the different different components, and under these components there are many parts or many influential components are related. So the code, content, treatment that relate to the source of the the message of the thing. So okay, so the all are related with the model component, but the code, content, treatment that related to the message of the message under the message head. Okay, then the higher education is premised on. So this is a statement, and this says that in higher education, the internet spread or the internet usage that is premised or primarily used for which purpose, and they give some purposes or the importance of internet in higher education, and the one that deals with the knowledge. Easy management and dissemination of knowledge is the point or the premises that deals with the higher education, and that get by the spreading of internet in higher education. Clear? So you can get the easy management and dissemination of knowledge by the usage or the spread of internet in higher education. Then, which of the following can make a class most effective? So there are various ways for making a class most effective. But in this option, the correct and also the important one that related with the most effective strategy for making the class effective. And that is keeping the students relaxed while teaching. So you can see teachers will take classes for students, but most of the times the students become very much tensed, and also they didn't want to get that concept clearly. But the keeping the students relaxed while teaching is the most effective way of communicating with the students. Okay, next one. The launch of satellite channel by IGNU on 26 January 2003 for technological education for the growth and development of distance education. So here we want to find out the particular channel that deals with the IGNU, IGNU, and also in here this channel provides the that's developed for the technological education and the development of distance education. You can know that IGNU is a open university and provide distance education, and the important one channel that launched in 2003, that is Ekalavya channel. Clear? Ekalavya. Gyan Darshan is also another important channel, and also the Ekalavya channel concentrated on the development and growth of distance education. That's for technological education part. Okay. Then next one, classroom communication is normally considered as. So you can know what is classroom communication. There are various types of classroom communication, but it's normally concentrated or considered as a cognitive one. Clear? Cognitive one. Because in classroom communication, we know that there are mental relationship or the mental relationship between the teacher and the student, and also the teacher and also the students getting mental and also cognitive intelligence through this communication. So it must be effective also but normally it considered as a cognitive process. Clear? Cognitive means mind related. Then effective communication does not require, or in this following option, one option does not related with the effective communication part. Here, voice modulation that needs in effective communication, appropriate gestures also needed in effective communication. Students' involvement is the another one related with effective communication. But the handsome appearance, it does not need to or need for a effective communication. So here, the handsome appearance of the person who communicate is does not require for the effectiveness of that communication. Clear? Then, effective teaching is by and large a function of the teachers. So, here, effective teaching as a process or as a function of teacher's perspective. So, here we want to get the communication according to the teacher's point of view. Clear? But here the answer is liking for the profession. So, as a teacher or as a function of teacher's effectiveness in communication, the teacher must be liking for the profession or the teacher interested in that profession, and that also make influence in learning procedure and also the classroom communication. The punctuality and also the ability for verbal expression also needed, but at most there must be liking for the profession. The teacher must interested in that profession first of all. Clear? Then another important program which are the following is an ambitious computerization program aimed at connecting 60,000 government and aided schools through internet. So in this question you get that 60,000 government and connecting 60,000 government aided and also aided schools, that's through internet. So this is an ambitious program for making the connection of these 60,000 institutions through digitalization or computerization, and that is Vidya Vahini. You can see E-Vidya Vahini, and it's introduced in Jharkhand. Okay, so Jharkhand. In Jharkhand, the program Vidya Vahini is introduced, and then it is the ambitious program, and also the ministry looking for that. That's the 60,000 institution, government and also aided schools will make a connection between them through internet. Then, which are the following steps would you prefer, would you consider first as an effective communicator? So, here we want to find the answer that's for the first as a effective communicator. The step that you consider for a effective communicator that must be needed for a effective communicator. Clear? So we know that the communication effectiveness depends primarily on the communicator, the step or the procedure he follows during the communication. So that is determine the objectives of communication. First of all, he must determine the objectives of communication, and then he select the channels and the various means for communication. Last, there comes a planned evaluation procedure. Clear. So first there comes a determination of objectives of communication. Then comes a select channels, and then the identify various means for communication. And last there comes plan the evaluation procedure. So in these steps, first come the objectives of communication. In any study, in various surveys and also the research, you can see first of all we want to make certain objectives related to for that study. Then teachers communication will be more effective if. So that's a condition. When these condition should be included or should be satisfied, there must be effective communication from teacher's point of view or from the side of teacher, and that must be the he or she prepares a good number of instructional aids. Okay, so this instructional aids will make the teacher's communication more effective. The teacher also a master in the subject is definitely needed, and he starts from what students already know. That's also right, but for effectiveness, for the teacher's message or the teacher's communication will be more effective. That means to get it by the students, and that's by using a good number of instructional aids. The students already know facts are important, but it's for connecting the communication. It does not make the effectiveness, it's for making the new information with the old, so that make a bridge between them. And also teacher must be a is a master in his subject, that's make the communication more effective. But the instructional aids will play a major role from the teacher's communication, from the teacher's point of view. Clear? Then failure of the teacher to communicate his ideas well to the students may result into. So in a class you can see that all communication or all message from the teacher that does not or that did not get to the students in sometimes, and that cause from the teacher's side a failure. So that failure from the teacher communication or its ideas does not send to the students, that make a failure. So it will happen, or the students may result into the increased number of absentees in the class. Clear? So classroom indiscipline, loss of students interest in the topic being taught is the other facts, but initially there comes increased number of absentees in the class. So that will cause due to the failure of teacher for communicating the message to the students. Following will not hamper effective communication in the class. So here the will not, the effective communication in the classroom, that will not make, so the option, given option, one of the option that does not hamper or does not make problem for effective communication in the class. Okay, so the one option that is a positive and the other option will be negative in the question. Okay, in the point of question. So that's a one, a precise statement. A lengthy statement make the effective communication in trouble, because the lengthy statement will make a confusion in the student's mind. And then an ambiguous statement, not clear or not well defined statement also create problem. And the statement which allows the listener to draw his own conclusion. So the teacher's conclusion or the teacher's point of view does not get to the students, but uh, instead it makes the listener to make his own conclusion in this point of view. So that also make the effective communication in trouble. But a precise statement or a concluded statement that will make the effective communication in the classroom in a better way. So this point or this option is not hamper the effective communication in the classroom. Clear? Then next one, which of the following in your opinion is a clear evidence for positive attitude towards the national anthem? So here in this question deals with national anthem, and that makes us a patriotic sense. Clear? So in your opinion, so here the examiner asks your opinion about the positive attitude, or what you think about the positive attitude of the national anthem. So there is any positive attitude when you hear that national anthem? So there's a clear evidence for this positive attitude, and that is the pride. Feeling proud as an Indian when it is heard. So when you hear the national anthem, you become proud to be a Indian. So that will make a positive attitude, and that will a clear evidence for positive attitude. Okay, but ability to recite it melodiously, it's another one, but does not make positive sense. Clear. And positive attitude, not sense, attitude. And standing silently whenever it is sung in function. So in function, you hear national anthem, you will be in a standing position, silently standing position. So it does not make any positive attitude. It makes us the respect for the national anthem. And studying is historical and national background and significant. It's in the studying point of view. Okay, all of them, all the people does not be into the historical and also the background, find the background and significance. But the positive attitude means the become proud to be an Indian. When it is heard the message, we become proud. So that is the clear evidence of the for the positive attitude towards national anthem. Then, which of the following provides more freedom for the learners to interact actively? Students, you can see that in some classrooms, the teachers will be more autocratic, and also they did not give any chances to the students. So the students also did not get any freedom to communicate with the teacher and also with the other students during the class times, and they are not uh, become forefront to make any opinion or decision. And in this causes the teaching sense or the teaching time. But in some times you can see that the students are very active, but the situation or the atmosphere does not to stand with them, like the large number of people, so they are not more freedom to interact with the teacher because of the large number of people. So to make them small group, it will become more easier and more flexible to the teacher to communicate or and also the students for interact actively with the teacher. So that is the answer. Small group discussion. Film projector and also the television, that does not make the interaction. It's only the make the vision and also make the sensory to act there. And the lecture by expert, that's also a lecture method, not the interaction method. Clear? Then last question. Assertion reasoning 1. Assertion: to communicate well in the classroom is a natural ability. Then the reason is because effective teaching in the classroom demands knowledge of the communication process. So both will not make sense. The one is concentrated to the communicate well in the classroom is a natural ability. And then the reason says that for the effectiveness of teaching in the classroom, there must be communication process that demands a knowledge. So knowledgeable communication will make the classroom effectiveness. So that's right. Okay, because when we need or when we have more knowledge about the classroom demand, we will have the ability to communicate in a better way, and then it will cause to the effectiveness of teaching. But here, to communicate well in the classroom, that's a natural ability. That's wrong, because all have the ability to communicate, but all have does no did not have the ability to communicate well in the classroom. Okay, that must be need a specific training and also some experiences and knowledge that will create the good teacher and also the communication better and well. Clear that the greatest deal for a teacher is to be more communicatable with the students, that will cause the effectiveness of learning. So the answer is A is false, but R is true. Clear? You get it? Then the homework question, the essential components of communication. So this question deals with what are the essential components or the essential needs of communication, and the gives options regarding source, message, interference, channel, receiver, feedback, and context. And also second one, sign, source, destination, interaction, correlation. And third, sign, symbols, understanding, communicator, and receiver. And last option, symbols, understanding, purpose, ideas, opinion, and reaction. All these are needed for a communication, but the essential components of communication need one of the options. So that you must find the answer for this question, and you can comment on it. Clear? Then yesterday's homework question, when were educational programs by UGC started on TV? We know that UGC started educational academy programs on television, and that's in the year 1984. Okay, so that's also called as a countrywide classroom. Clear? You can get in another alternative question like that. When UGC started countrywide classroom, and that's on 1984. That's in 1984. Okay. Then that's for the day. We end this session with this question. We will meet with another important topic in next class. So until then, thank you. Have a nice day.